My first company was called Pencil Case Studios. Right. That was a video editing agency. And there we work with I think around 20 top creators in India.
And one thing which is common in all of these people is that they are not born rich, but they are born hustlers.
And you have to always think about what is your end consumer. Suppose you want to target other businesses for your SaaS product.
Sanhik Roy, the aspiring video post-production genius with 40,000 followers on Instagram, goes by the username the ethical capitalist. He's the founder of Plato, have taught 500 plus students, worked with 60 plus clients, and got an accumulator of 1 billion plus views. And today we will dive deep into the world of content creation. Hello everyone, welcome to the first or one of the first episodes of our new podcast in which we will be diving in the attention economy and we will have content creators, creative professionals, founders, and everyone in that field in the zone who can tell us and teach us about how to shape content, what an attention economy is, and how to eventually win on it. And today we have Sadik. Sanhik, I have been following Sanhik's content for a while now, and I love the way he teaches at video editing and the small tips that he gives. It's really life changing. But I would just give the mic to Sanhik now so he can continue. Introduce yourself, Sanhik,
Yeah.
please.
I'll give a small intro. Hi guys, I'm Sanhik Roy. I've been in the content creation space for around 5 years now. So I started on as a video editor, right? Then I edited for a lot of creators in India. So when I started out, I was just editing for pennies, right? Sometimes I wouldn't even get paid. And then as I moved up the ladder, I worked with bigger creators, right? So I got the opportunity to work with a few of the top creators in India. Initially I worked with a creator called Ashish Ranjan, and then I moved to a creator called Prakar Ke Pravachan, and there I kind of met a lot of bigger creators. So after working as a video editor for a year or two, I started my first agency. So I still remember that I was running my agency and doing two full-time jobs at the same time, right?
Wow.
So like I did almost 20 hours a day, every day. Like it was at a point that I was burnt out, but I was running in overdrive. So I didn't even realize I was burnt out,
You know,
right? And
one thing about creators is that we have such a cool hustle story behind us.
yeah,
I have talked to a lot of creators. I have been doing content creation for a while now myself. And one thing
yeah.
which is common in all of these people is that they are not born rich, but they are born hustlers. And one way or another, they are born hustlers.
I
And
think
which
I
is
think that comes hand in hand.
yeah,
Not being
yeah. I
rich
think
and
yeah.
being a hustler, that comes hand in hand.
Yep, yep,
Yeah.
yep.
What about you? Uh, like what about you? Your background?
My background, content creation for me started as an exploration journey. Where I used to get bullied a lot, and I was not a great student at all. I was a very real bad student, a backbencher, and I had this really bad bullying uh, track. So content creation for me, just when I just came. Yeah, that's nice. Okay, so content creation for me became my exploration journey. I started
Hmm.
making content to explore myself, explore deeper into how I can express myself better. And 6 years later, I am a founder of a creative agency myself, and I have gathered millions of views as well. But I never took content creation too professionally. That's one of the reasons why I
Hmm.
don't have crazy numbers because I have a big portfolio. I have podcasted with people. I have worked with big companies, but I never professionally continued and maintained the consistency. And I
Hmm.
didn't have a team behind me who can help me automate my stuff. I didn't have a systematic
Hmm.
approach to content up until now. I will have now. So you were telling me about Plato. Can you tell us a bit about Plato? But I think before Plato, we should go back to Club, your first startup.
Yeah, I mean, Club was my second company, right?
Okay.
So my first company was called Pencil Case Studios, right? That was a video editing agency, and there we work with I think around 20 top creators in India. So that was going really well. Like around 6 months, we scaled to like 10 people, like a 10-man team. It was completely remote,
No.
and I went to Mumbai at that time. So That time I got an offer to join in a media as a founding member in a media company in Bangalore. So that is when I moved there. I remember I got the call on Saturday and I just moved on Sunday. Right. After coming to Bangalore, I wrote an email to my college that I'm dropping out, and that was fun. That was fun year, and I stayed there for a year. Like, had a really great time. We were one of the fastest growing channels in India that time, and then after working there, I think in Feb or March last year, I started club, right? So club started doing really well. In close to a year,
Did you
we were
shut
a
down?
20-man team.
I'm sorry, I'm cutting you.
Sorry.
Did you shut down? Did you shut down Pencil Case Studios, or is it still open
Yeah,
now?
I shut down Facilcare Studios when I came to Bangalore.
Okay.
I worked in a company here, right, a media company, and then after that I started club. I started
Okay.
club in 2023 March,
Okay.
right. So there we grew to a 20-man team, all in house, right. It was like really crazy. Like this was the office that we were running club in. Now we are running Plato here. So
Oh.
very crazy. Like we work with some of the biggest companies, right? Like I told you, work with Puma, work with Warner Brothers, right?
Oh.
Some of the biggest creators across the globe, right? Helped our clients gain over 1 billion views, 24 million subscribers. It was a heck of a ride, right? And that time I kind of had the idea that I wanted to build a startup in. So that is when the idea of Plato came in. So right now I'm doing Plato full time, and Plato is basically India's first hiring platform for content creators. That if you want to hire a video editor, script writer, anything that you want around content, you can come and hire on our platform, right? And on Plato we have two parts to our startup. One is the hiring platform, and one is our education programs, right? So we have bootcamp based programs where for 3 months we have like daily intensive classes where we teach video editing and content creation, that people can come here and learn how like work in an environment with other people, like work in teams, learn video editing, learn content creation, like go to the dive deep into all of the topics, right. And our approach is very different. We don't just teach courses or like teach theory. So in the 3 month program, only 1 month is theory, right. They will learn the basics only in the first month, and the second and third month they'll work on real projects, like they'll work on our content, they'll work with
Oh.
on real clients projects, right. So that is how you learn,
Nice.
right. And when you go out into the market as a beginner editor or a beginner creator, nobody really will give you their work, right. Why will a big brand risk working with you, you know, because they are
Obviously.
very high stakes. But when coming from a company like us, right, who has like has a huge portfolio, and so basically how we operate is we have like like creative directors and content producers who again lead these students, right.
Oh.
So the company will trust us, right, to make the content, and we make sure that the quality is like optimum, and like we distribute it among our students, so they work on it, and we tell them, "Oh, okay, do it like this, do it like that, right, make it better, this is where you can improve," and then the polished product goes to the clients. The students actually get an opportunity to work on big clients before even they go out and get a job, right. And at the end of the 3 month period they get placed with the creators on our platform, right. So basically we control both the supply and demand part.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about earlier as well. Because when you are running a service, in which you're giving the talent so fast, you would actually need to make your own talent as well. You need to teach them and train them as well,
Yeah.
because you won't be able to meet the demand if you do not have the supply, which there
Yeah.
is shorter always. There's always shortage of talented people, and finding them is really hard as well. So that's a
Yeah.
brilliant startup, man. That all the best
I
to you for
appreciate that.
that. Um,
Yeah.
let's go deeper into content.
Mm.
What made you? What sparked the spark in you when it came to content? What's your journey about content? How you came to
Uh,
content?
my I never really wanted to be a content creator. I'll be very honest. I didn't see myself ever becoming a content creator. I'll tell you how I started in this journey. I was a music producer, right? So ever since like
Wow.
middle school, I used to play like I used to tour all around the state. Participate in like contests, band contests, right? So I was
Probably will
heavily
have to
involved
sing
in.
us something as well by the end of this podcast.
Maybe some other day. Right now I don't have like I usually play with instruments, so yeah,
Okay.
I don't
Okay.
have one at the office. Yeah.
Okay.
So firstly, I used to play the guitar, ukulele, piano. I used to sing, and then I also got into music production. Right, so I was music producer, and that is the reason I kind of got into video editing. I wanted to make my own music videos. So after making my own songs, I'm like, how do I make videos now? That's when I learned video editing. And when I started, I remember it was a very archaic software called Sony Vegas. Right, nowadays everybody uses Premiere Pro. I learned it on Sony Vegas, and then I shifted to Premiere Pro later. So that is kind of how I got into video editing. And then when I started editing with creators, I realized I was really good at strategizing and telling creators, okay, this kind of content will work, this won't work, or what kind of strategies, like uploading at this time, talking about this kind of topics, creating a new style. I realized I was good at that. Right? It was just like you told, kept exploring and discovering new things about myself, and so I was like, okay, this creative strategy thing is working. Then I worked as a creative director, as a channel manager, content head at a lot of places, and then consulted with a lot of creators. So that's where I kind of realized, okay, I'm good at this, but I was kind of like a kingmaker. I didn't do it myself. I did it for other people. And I think in 2021, like 2 or 3 of my reels blew up. So the first reel that I posted, I think had around 10K views, and the fifth one had 2 million views,
Oh wow.
and the sixth one had 500K. It's so I was like, whoa, what is happening? So I got kind of motivated. This was like around in 2021 beginning. I was also running pencil case at the same time. So and then after those 2 or 3 videos became viral, then I started to get like 20K views, 30K views, and I kind of got discouraged because even 20K and 30K from for a new page is very big. But I was like, this is not fun. So and then I was kind of making money through my agency. So I kind of got sidetracked. In hindsight, I shouldn't have gotten sidetracked. I should have continued making content. But again, I don't regret it. It was a good experience. So that happened, and that time I think I in like month I got like some 22,000 followers. So it was a wild ride. But then I kind of got burnt out, and I was like,
On
I'll just
your
run
own
my agency.
Instagram or which platform?
Yeah, my own Instagram.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, and then I didn't make anything for like I think 2 years. So that went, like my followers went down to 15,000 because, but I didn't really care that much because other things were going on in my life. Um, so recently, like when I was doing club, just between the transition of club and Plato, so I had gone to a few podcasts and I had the recordings. So like I one of my interns were free, and that time I had told them like to have like a test project. Okay, make these reels. Like take this podcast and make reels out of them. And he was like, okay, why not? And he took out reels from that, and a lot of them went
You
viral.
know,
Like,
most people do not understand, most people do not realize, uh, most people do not realize the opportunity of repurpose they have. You know, as
yeah,
founders,
yeah,
we talk about so much things in our day, and we have
yeah,
so much opportunity, of posting stuff, even if we just document it. So
yeah.
repurposing, especially for founders, especially for someone who's actively doing stuff, is a key, is the king.
Yeah,
So
repurposing actually, I think did it for me.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Most of your videos, they're like answering questions. They're not like you're
yeah,
making content. You're
hmm,
answering questions,
yeah,
which is fun as well. So, what do
definitely.
you what if someone because our podcast is mainly about the purpose of this podcast is that I want to create a podcast in which we genuinely and not just generic
Hmm,
conversations. We have deeper conversations about content industry, the content economy, attention economy, and how to win in it. So if I am, for example, I'm your client, I came to you, I'm like, Sanhik, you have such a great track record, you have such a great portfolio. I am Bilal, I'm an author, I'm an author of 2 books, and I am starting my own agency, XYZ, and I want to build my personal brand, I want to grow my personal brand. What strategies
hmm.
would you give me for what specific platforms? If we go deeper into it.
So, so I think like when you start a personal brand, you should firstly focus on what are you good at and what do you like, right? And create content on the intersection of that. Like if you create a Venn diagram, right, of something that you like and something that you are good at, I think that's a very sweet spot for creating content because, like for example, for myself. if I talk about content or content strategy, I can keep talking about that for hours. I don't need to create a script for that, right? So similarly, like suppose you want to create your personal brand. Like suppose you are good at finance, you're good at business, or you are good at fashion, you're good at food, right? So create content about that. Now that content can be around uh, anecdotal. Suppose you are talking about your life, and people are kind of, how do I put it? They are referring to that, and applying the knowledge that you are teaching from your anecdotes into their life. Or you can also be directive, that you can directly tell them do this, do that. That is something that you can do. Like you told that you are the author of 2 books. So I think that is something that you can milk, right? Because that is a lot of that adds a lot of social credibility. What are your books about? Like what do you like? What do you want your personal brand to be?
Okay, so consider the case being Bilal. Okay, subject is being Bilal. Uh, it's the books is about self development. It's about self help, self development, and
Hmm.
yeah. So these are the books about. And what? So what kind of content should I make? Should I make videos? Should I tell people random things about how to be more, how to have a better routine, how to have a better work-life balance? Should I make videos around these niche, and on which platform should I post, or how should I take my content? You know,
Yeah. So we'll take this question first one by one, right? So you said
sure.
firstly, what kind of content you should make, right? So if you want to create self-development content, I think instead of trying to think of content yourself, you should do a survey, like talk to maybe 50 or 100 people, and see what problems they have in their life, or maybe do a small live stream, right? So there you'll get a lot of questions that okay, these are the problems that are happening with your life. Even if even maybe you are not getting a lot of audience on your live, or not a lot of questions, you can go out and ask people in random sequences, right? You can like just take your iPhone and go and ask people what's the biggest problem you're facing in your life right now, and solve it on the spot, right? So that's a very good kind of content, like from the top of my head, that I can tell you, like instant problem solving. That is something you can do. Or you can like maybe make a compilation of 10 people having the same problem, and then you solve that in a reel, right? So that is something that you can do. Suppose somebody has problem sleeping, right? So you can tell them, okay, take melatonin, fix your sleep cycle, don't use phone before bed, like anything that you like. I mean, what I said is very generic, right? But you can probably give a fresh perspective to it. If somebody has eating disorders, if somebody has motivation problem, if somebody is facing from depression, can't talk to anybody about it, right? So I think instead of just creating content out of the blue, if you can establish in your content that you are doing that for somebody in real life, then people will relate to it more. Because suppose I come in front of the camera and tell you, okay, do you have depression? This is a fix. And they're like, okay, really? But if I go to a person in real life and somebody is recording that, and I ask them what problem do you have, they're like, I'm suffering through depression. Then you tell that person actionable tips, then makes the person on the viewing end more relate to you more. Okay, so that is one perspective that you can take. So, like bottom line, ask real people what their problems are and then solve them. That is a good way to go about self
So
development
if,
content.
for example, someone's like, yeah, I want, that's what, for example, self-development, let's just say, stay on self-development. Self-development is something, a subject that really, I'm passionate about, and I think I have sound knowledge of that subject.
Hmm.
But it's already too saturated. So, and it's 2024, people from 2018 or 19 are winning, but I don't think I would win. So, what do you reply to that?
Every niche is saturated, right? There is like, if you think that you can make original content, it'll just probably be an amalgamation of 5 different content creators, right? All of the knowledge that you personally have or I personally have is also derived from somewhere, right? Either from our
Obviously,
experiences
translated.
or from
Yeah,
hearing it from somewhere else, right?
yeah.
So if you go into if you are in a dilemma that, oh, this niche is saturated, or how do I make original content, then you'll probably never end up making content. Like the thing that you should do is, even if there are like 100 creators out there solving problem, if you go and talk to any particular person, they will still have problems in their life,
Yep.
right? So solve them. And usually what that does is, there will be 1,000 other people in a similar case like that. Even though there are like 1,000 different sources of a particular type of content or a solution to a problem, accessibility is an issue, right? Maybe they have not yet reached there, right?
Yep.
Or maybe you have a unique perspective to solving it, right? Suppose the problem is, say, suppose let's take a small problem like staying fit. Maybe that comes under self development, right? Staying fit is a topic a lot of people have covered, but what is the unique perspective that you can give to it that will differentiate you? Or what is the unique packaging that you can provide to it that you are a lot of people do those transformation reels, right? So when that was new, that was a new perspective, right? So what is the new perspective that you can add, right? That is again something you have to figure out on your own key. How can I show it in a better light? Like for me, like I am a little bit more on the fortunate end that people talking about the science behind content and people talking about the like behind the scenes of content is a relatively lesser saturated field, because again content creation itself is such a nascent industry, especially in a country like India. So that helps, but again there are still a lot of people doing it. So personality is one of the biggest differentiation. Like for me, I think as many people follow me for just my content, that there would likely be as many people who would follow me for the way I deliver my content, right? For the way I tell what I know, right? Way I present my knowledge. So that also helps, right? Suppose for example, if we take an example of Andrew Tate, what he's saying is not really new. It's like 1,000 different people have said it in 1,000 different ways, but the way he presents it, with the charisma, with the amount of dominance that he presents his knowledge, that is something that allures all the other people into watching him, made him one of the biggest celebrities in the world, right? So you have to find out what is unique, what's the like. It doesn't even have to be a very big thing, right? It just has to be a little bit different approach, and then you will find that no niche is really saturated, right? Even though there are like tens of thousands of finance creator today, if you start a finance page and give really good advice in a unique way, you'll still make a lot of money. That is what I think. Yeah.
So, in your perspective or in your brand, how do you see your own following as? What do you see your own following as? Well, I mean,
My own following.
yeah. So, I'm sure you're not gonna monetize it, or you do not directly monetize it, you indirectly monetize it. But what's the value you get from the following you have? If that makes sense.
What's the value I get from my following?
Yeah.
I think that's probably not the best question to ask. When you think about making content, I think you should ask yourself, what is the value I can give to my followers? And that is how you make sure your followers stay and your followers grow. When
Yeah.
when you are giving when you are giving like thousand pieces of content
No.
and like thousand pieces of value.
Yeah, yeah. I think there's an issue. Can you hear me?
Sorry?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear.
What I was asking was that there are founders who are rich, who have everything in life, and they're like, why should we bother creating? We are already well stable. We do not need a new audience. We do not need a new market. We are already doing really well. So I'm asking from their perspective, if there comes a really rich founder to you, and you're pitching him that you should make content, and he's like, why should I make content? I'm already doing so well. Look at my Mercedes or my Bugatti.
Okay.
And what would you reply to him?
So firstly, I would never pitch to a person make content. I would tell them don't make content. And only if you have a very strong reason of making content should you make content. Suppose you are a risk founder. Suppose you are an established person in a field. Suppose you are a good doctor, like a very renowned surgeon. Right? You don't really need to make content. Right? There has to be a very specific person of why you make content. Right? And if your life is sorted elsewhere, there you don't want to make content, then probably there isn't any like tangible reason for you to make content. Either you like making content, or you want to create distribution for a particular purpose, right? For me, if I tell you I'm not super passionate about content, I'm not super passionate about becoming content creator myself, right? I see myself as more of a business person and a strategist. That is what I've excelled at all over the years. like helping people. Like I can most likely get anybody viral if they have any value, like any value apart from content. Like suppose uh, I keep giving an example. Like there's a creator called Siddharth Warrior. So he's a very good neurosurgeon, and he has a lot of knowledge about brains, about, like, he is a neurosurgeon, right? So about chemicals, about psychology, right? He has a lot of knowledge about that. So because he inherently possesses a lot of good knowledge, it's very easy to convert him into a content creator. Just give him a good packaging, a good strategy, and then you can become a creator, right? So but that distribution, either you like to make content, right, or you want to create a distribution. Like suppose you're a brand, like a brand comes and tells me I want to make a podcast. So the brand has a clear purpose that he wants, like that, they want to create content so that they can sell their products, or they can create more awareness for their brand, right? So for example, you must know about Kunal Soft Cred, right? So his personal brand, like he has a very massive personal brand, and that gives him credibility. That gives his brand credibility, right? People want to download cred more, right? People want to use it more. It becomes like a social status. So that helps. Like recently, you must have seen Nikhil Kamath starting his own podcast. So the reason he started was because he just wanted to get famous, right? So that was his purpose, and that's not wrong. But if you inherently don't have a purpose in your mind and you are already rich, there probably isn't a good reason for you to make content. What content helps in doing is, like if you ask me personally, content helps me showcase what I am doing and the startup I am working on in public. Right? It helps me add value to a lot of people, so that when they come into our programs, we can give them more added value. Right? I give people a lot of value for free without asking anything in return. And if somebody wants to have more value from me, they can decide to join my programs. If somebody wants to, suppose they're a creator or a brand, if they want to get really good videos, if they want to make really good content, they can come and talk to me. If a creator wants to hire a really good candidate, they can come on my platform and hire an editor, hire a script writer, whatever. So that is what content helps me do. So I hope that answers your question, and I'm
Yeah,
sorry if it
yeah, it
doesn't.
does. Yeah, it does. It does. It actually does.
So I don't really pitch people make content.
Okay.
People must have a very strong reason of why they want to make content, and then I can help them.
Okay. For so we live in a subcontinent area, and we have abundance of software houses around us.
Yeah.
So every cousin and every friend of ours is opening a software house every now and then. So if a software agency, specifically a software agency, comes to you, they're like, we want to grow and we want to stand out. This is one of the questions, because I get a lot of agencies talk to me this, and I'm actually, sometimes I found a blockage as well. How can I help them stand out while all they're doing and all they're selling is the same? I can tell them that your team, your culture, you can be unique. You can be a story, but then again, so can everyone else be. So what would, if an agency comes to you, a software house, what would you advise them? How to shape their content?
Um, Usually for software companies or like SaaS businesses, content marketing is probably not the best way to go for them. Like having a sales funnel and a LinkedIn sales funnel, and
Yep.
having a proper sales team is the best way to go. Right? Because on SaaS products, the average ticket value is very high, like above $10,000, $50,000. That is the average ticket size. Right? So being able to sell something like that just through content is hard. There you need someone to actually go and have those sales calls, right? And maybe have like a really good sales team on commission, and they go and sell your product. That is the best way to go about it, right? If for awareness, I would say awareness based ads, like high budget, like high scale ads, which probably don't show your product at all, but just throw out your name and what you do. Suppose I personally worked on an ad for a company called AI Sensi. So they are a WhatsApp marketing platform and WhatsApp CRM platform, basically, right? Broadcasting WhatsApp messages,
Yeah, yeah,
managing
yeah,
campaigns,
yeah,
that kind of platform. So it's a very boring product, right? But it's a very functional product for anybody who wants wants to do. Like for me, like it's a very useful product. If I want to manage like 1,000 people, I can't do it on my own WhatsApp. I need a like a marketing platform. So for them, we created a created an advertisement, which was like an out of the world advertisement. Right, things are flying here and there. Like it's a very like bright, colorful ad. Lots of things are happening. It's like a proper IPL level ad, right? So what that does is it shows that brand as a very fun brand, right, and a very approachable brand. And because again the production value is very high, it shows that the brand is credible. Brand has money basically, right?
Yeah,
So
so
if a brand
this
has
is what I
money,
have
they
tried as well.
probably have older clients. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah. So I was saying that this is what I
Yeah,
have tried as well. That in the for agencies, especially for agencies of SaaS kind of agencies, it's not about
yeah,
being relatable. It's about being premium.
yeah,
You know, and premium is not most often not relatable. You know, premium is most often not relatable. But for them, you need to be
yeah,
premium. You need to show a premium outlook, a premium packaging. You do
yeah,
not necessarily need to be
exactly.
relatable.
And you have to always think about what is your end consumer. Suppose you want to target other businesses for your SaaS product, then probably your target market is mid-level executives and brand managers, right? That is, and probably senior HR folk, right, who actually take the decisions. So they probably won't be sitting around on YouTube or Instagram. They'll probably be on LinkedIn, right?
Yep.
Or maybe you can target them on some kind of business or finance content on YouTube, right? But usually you probably won't find them on Instagram, right? So thinking about what kind of content you make on what platform is also important, right? So if you have a SaaS, probably LinkedIn is the best platform, and YouTube to some degree. Instagram is probably not the best platform, especially not so short form, right? And text based content would probably be much better, right, where you are adding a lot of value to these people, and then in the end you have a plug that we do this and here's the link, right? So that's a good way to plug, right? When suppose the best part about text based content is people have more commitment. Like suppose somebody is sitting and reading what you're posting, basically they are more committed than just watching a video,
Yep.
right? So LinkedIn, even Twitter, that can be a good way to market. So it's very important to think about who is your end customer before making content.
You're right. Yeah, makes sense. Okay, so we live in a space which has become really fast with shorts and 3 second attention and everything that sort. Our attention spans become pea sized, and every now and then there is a trend. The people we getting views, or especially on short format, is not that hard. Honestly, if you're consistent, if you
I mean, depends. Suppose it's hard for the majority of people. For people who get it, it's not hard. For people who don't get it, it's hard, right?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that makes sense as well. Most people do not
Yeah,
even have that the luxury of getting 10,000 views. You're right on that.
yeah,
But for those who have the luxury of getting 10,000 views, 50,000, 1 lakh, 1 million, uh, sometimes we get sidetracked. There are two questions. There are two sides to the question. Sometimes we get sidetracked and we just go over the sheep herd and we just follow the trend and do not experiment and do not grow ourselves. Firstly, secondly, in this space of fleeting attention, how do we get the meaningful engagement, the meaningful sustainable engagement that stays with us for at least 3-4 years? I don't think there's a shelf life above 4 years
I
for
think
a
shelf
view.
life around 7 years is a shelf life of a creator. Like if a creator is doing it full time, 7 years is the shelf life
Yeah, seven
usually.
years shelf life, and I think there's this, I've read that a viewer and a die-hard viewer, views a person for like 4 years, 5 years, and then he moves on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because
Die Hard will be much lesser.
yeah. So so the question is that how do we maintain and how do we get that meaningful engagement in this era of fleeting attention?
See, firstly, the boon of short form is people are not really that committed, right? Long form is usually a better platform to have good engagement. It's suppose you're watching one long form video for 20 minutes, so you're engaging with the user is engaging with you and your content for 20 minutes, 20 into 60 seconds, right? But for that, a person has to watch 20 reels to have the same level of engagement on short form content, right? 20, or maybe if there's shorter reels, maybe 30 reels, 40 reels, right? If they're 30 seconds. right? To have the same level of engagement as a YouTube video. So for engagement, long form videos always better. But again, when you're starting out, long form is probably not the best way to go because you won't be getting any numbers in the beginning, and that's the hard fact, and that is how it is. That is how it should be, right? You can't expect to just show up one day and become a million YouTuber. You can't become an A-lister in a day. It takes time. It takes at least full-time effort for at least 2 years to want to create content full-time, right? So if you want reach in the beginning, short form is best, and then you take those people and divert like probably 1 to 5% of them will probably convert to your long form, and then you can engage them. Or what you can do is on Instagram there is something called broadcast channels, right? Or you can get them on an email list, right? That okay, I am providing extra value here for free. Join the email list and maybe send them a newsletter. Or what you can do is you can like harness small like you can scalp small parts of this bigger short form audience into small like online boot camps, online events, right? That is how you can create more engagement. Like Instagram lives are a good way to create engagement. Going YouTube live, but again, Instagram people probably won't come to YouTube live, right? So if you are growing on YouTube Shorts, then YouTube live. If you're growing on Instagram Reels, then Instagram live. That's how you build good engagement. But at the end of the day, what you should focus on is my content really giving value to my audience? That if you go to your analytics, you can check for each and every content how much one piece of content has been shared and saved. So if your content is shared and saved a lot, that means your content is valuable. People want to save it and watch it later, or they want to share this knowledge with somebody else. Right? That spreads your name a lot, and usually if you like how to have a very engaged audience, I think is diverting them up away from the platform and into somewhere you can have a direct word with them, like just like an email newsletter.
Okay.
Right.
So
Yeah.
one last thing, I think no, a few last things, and then we will summarize our podcast because we have some really good, we had some really good nuggets from this, and we will probably take snippets out of it as well. And overall,
Yeah.
if anyone is watching the full podcast, first of all, he's a G. We are proud of you. Secondly,
Appreciate
secondly,
that.
it's actually really if you're interested in the content economy, if you want to be a founder, you want to start an agency, or you're a creator yourself, these conversations like these help you a lot grow your perspective and how you can strategize and meaningfully grow your life. We all give this tip.
I'm so sorry to cut you off. I'm so
Yeah,
sorry to cut you off. I want forward to ask this. Where are you based out of?
I'm based in Pakistan.
Oh, okay, got it. Nice.
Where do you think I was from?
No, I thought you thought you were in a Middle Eastern country because
Yeah. So
yeah,
I lived there as well, but yeah, I shifted
that's
to
it.
Pakistan. Yeah, I'm originally from Pakistan.
Got it.
So
Got it. Got it.
the
Right
question
now
was,
you're in Pakistan.
yeah, right now it's in Pakistan. That's the best way to
Okay,
put
got it.
it.
And where
So
do you stay usually?
I think near Delhi, Lahore,
Achha.
near
No. You said that you from here and there.
yeah, I travel here.
Achha.
Uh,
Got it.
Saudi, if you're asking that.
Saudi Arabia.
Yeah,
Got it.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so the question is that all of I say this, you say this, and like thousands of creators or creator coaches say, give value, give value, give value. What in simpler way, in a very simple way. What do we mean when we say give value?
Give value. Okay,
Yeah,
that's a good question. Giving value to your audience is providing them with a piece of knowledge, an insight, or a unique perspective that helps them do better in life. That can be very small. Suppose giving them a small tip of a thing you can do when you wake up that makes their day 1% better. That can be a very big thing. Okay, suppose you are giving your CA exam, and if you solve this particular question, you are guaranteed to have this much rank. It's a bigger value. Suppose you give suppose you are a finance creator and you are telling them, okay, if you have this much money saved up and you want to invest it in somewhere safe where you can actually create value, and you give that particular product, then that's value. right? So anything that improves the person's life in a tangible way, that's value. And again, it's on the customer to, on the consumer to actually apply that value. But again, that's the best you can do, right? You can tell them, do this, do that, or if you do this, this will happen. If you do that, that will happen. That's the best you can do, and then it's on the consumer. Usually, if it's very actionable, like the inside or knowledge that you're giving, it's very actionable, then that's very good as a piece of value. If it's not that actionable, still suppose you are motivating someone to actually get out of bed that day, that's probably not very actionable in terms of something new happening to his life, but that's still valuable, right? If you're telling them something that makes them feel better, that's not a very actionable, but that's still valuable. So that is how I would define value.
Okay.
Anything that makes the person's life at least even 1% better, that is value.
I think value is simply if I make it, if I back everything you say, and if I add on to it, value is sharing the secrets. As simple as that.
Right?
Sharing the secrets.
Sharing secrets,
Yeah, sharing the secrets of
that's a very unique perspective.
yeah, of sharing the secrets of what you have found out in this journey of 3-4 years that you have worked your ass off to earn, whatever the field is, whether it's content creation or whatever. Don't just keep the audience to the generic stuff, that be authentic, be valuable. Just tell them what does it mean actually. If, for example, there was a person, there was my client who had a hardware store. And they were like, we are making videos telling people, oh, buy a MacBook from us, buy a Mac from us, but that's not working out. I told them that it's because you're literally just giving them basic information. Tell them how to identify between how to check a MacBook before buying. Tell them the secrets that most dubious stores may not tell them. Tell them how they get fraud, and tell them how they should not get fraud in the next time. Be as authentic with them as they know. Okay, when you open up with someone, only then someone opens up to you. It's a simple thing. If I'm not willing to have a conversation with
Definitely.
you, you would not be willing to talk to me. As simple as that. If I'm not willing to
Yeah,
open up with you,
absolutely.
you would not be willing to talk to me, or give your time to me. You would like, okay, ठीक है, सही है.
Yeah.
You know, if
Being
it's fine,
vulnerable.
yeah, be vulnerable, be honest, and share a secret. It's okay. No one's gonna take your secrets. No one's gonna take you what's
Yeah, yeah,
there.
yeah.
No one's gonna steal everything from you. Tell that you can.
Yeah, I think there is a very big scarcity mindset going on in the industry right now. Everybody is very afraid of telling who I work with because they're like, oh, they will steal my business, they will steal my clients. I will not tell them. Or if I tell them this piece of advice, oh, my market share will go down. I think that's operating from scarcity mindset. I think you should have an abundance mindset. Like help as many people as you can, provide as many value, like connect as many people as you can. I think that eventually like your goodwill in the industry will go up like that. That is what I feel. I feel you should always operate from an abundance mindset and give. Like the more you give to the universe, I think the more comes back to you. And you should
Gary,
never, do
Gary
it
Vee's,
from the perspective of coming back. You should
yeah,
probably always do it from the
yeah, yeah,
sorry.
yeah, yeah. I'm saying the
Yeah. Go on.
Gary Vee's book on this is really good. The jab, 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 hook. If you have read it, it's all about that. If Sanhik is my viewer and he takes away all the secrets from me, he starts his own business and he doesn't pay me any value. It's fine to me. It's okay. No worries. Good for him. It's okay. You need to have this mindset. You need to have this attitude before you go jump into the content industry or any industry. You need to have the mindset of giving value for no returns. Even it's okay if he took it from me and he started his own and he didn't pay me any regards or whatever, or didn't pay me any returns. It's okay. It's okay. Accept that. And once you accept that, then only then you will be able to tell the secrets, the stories, the vulnerabilities, and everything, which actually makes you you, and how you shape up to be you at this point in life.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say on that or add on that?
No, I think you put it very, very aptly.
Okay. So lastly, if a company, if an agency comes to you, a big agency or a company, for example, by the way, I love India's Shark. It's really cool. I watch all of the
Sorry.
episodes of Indian Shark Tank.
That's
It,
that's going really good. Yeah,
it's really awesome. So, for example, one of the
yeah,
sharks or one of the Zomatos or the boats come to you and they're like, make take all of our content, we are outsourcing our content to you. You need to produce this many number of content per week or per month, and we need this type of engagement for you. So, what would be? I know it's a generic question because I'm not giving you the exact brand name or details, but keep it
yeah.
generic. How many pieces of content would you aim on, and on which platforms would you aim for them on? For example, boat. Let's take boat.
I mean, let's not take any names, but suppose you want to, suppose you want to promote something like Shark Tank, right? So I think 2 to 3 pieces of short form content every day across Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, LinkedIn and Twitter. I think that's a good volume. Maybe a little bit lesser on LinkedIn and Twitter, but again, 2 to 3 pieces of content on Instagram Reels and YouTube
Portrait
Shorts.
format on LinkedIn and Twitter.
Yeah, portrait
X.
format, Reels. Yeah,
Okay.
Reel format, portrait format.
Reels work
Right.
on X.
Sorry.
Reels work on X.
I mean, it's like Elon Musk has been pushing, right? He wants to push video format more because it just makes more money for X as a platform. I think Apple released I think episode of one of their shows, first episode of one of their shows on Twitter, and that became the most viewed video ever on
Oh,
X. Right?
okay.
Yeah. So Twitter is pushing videos more. So and I always try to stay ahead of the curve. So I'm experimenting with that. So if it works out, it works out. And if it
That's
doesn't
the
work
nugget
out,
out of
there's no
this
harm in
episode.
posting it.
That's the nugget out of this episode,
Sorry?
guys. That's the key nugget out of this
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah. So always I try to push the boundaries of any platform, right? So whenever you upload on Instagram, there are a lot of settings like topics or location. I try to experiment with as many things as possible, like experimenting with the captions, experimenting with the profile cover. On YouTube, experimenting with thumbnails. Right? That's very important. I think that really helps. So yeah, I think 2 to 3 pieces of short form, that's more than enough to because the thing is when you're having 3 hour, 4 hour shows, long shows, there's a lot of short form content that you can create out of that. Like you can create like every hour, if it's a 60-minute episode, one you can at least create 30 to 40 pieces of shorts from that. So that's unlimited content. That's what I feel. It's just that it has to be edited in a good, professional, and presentable way.
Sure. So, lastly, about keeping to your startup, if what's the average? I don't think that's the right question, but
Yeah, that is something that we're working on a platform. I don't want it to be on the based on the number of years of experience. That is not the best way to judge. Somebody can be just 6 months into the industry and be super talented. So years is probably not the best metric. What we are doing is we are whenever a editor comes on our platform, they'll be given 5 or 10 different niches and an assignment based on those niches, and then they can complete those assignments, and then our internal algorithm will rank them according to the best edits, and that is how they'll get ranked. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.